What in the world just unfolded in that courtroom? Because whatever you thought was going on between Bambi, Stevie J, and Lil Scrappy, throw it out. This isn't just love and hip-hop. This is courtroom warfare. And the battlefield? Explosive. Legal. Viral, it all began with what was supposed to be a quiet hearing, a routine appearance. Bambi walks in, calm, composed, dressed like she's on the Met Gala carpet. The energy? Tense but manageable. Until a screen in the courtroom flickered to life, and the entire room fell silent. Even the judge leaned in, and Stevie J? That smirk of his cracked like cheap foundation under hot lights. What played on that monitor wasn't just evidence. It was a bombshell. The kind of footage that doesn't stay inside four courtroom walls. It leaks, it spreads, it catches fire. And it burns reputations straight to the ground. But let's rewind, because this didn't just happen overnight. No, this was a storm building for months, maybe years. Ever since Lil Scrappy and Bambi's relationship shifted from glittery confessionals to custody battles and cold silences, sources, and we're talking the kind that hang out in VH1 hallways and spill tea over cocktails in green rooms, say this case wasn't supposed to be a spectacle. It was family business, behind closed doors, until Stevie J showed up with that locked briefcase. And that look. Like he'd been waiting years to drop the final card. Inside that briefcase, a flash drive. Inside that flash drive, allegedly, betrayal. According to what leaked, Stevie had been sitting on evidence that could flip the entire narrative. Footage, voice notes, digital receipts. And when the courtroom lights dimmed and that screen lit up, Bambi was seen shaking. Not the kind of nervous tremble you fake. Real panic. Because on screen was her. In surveillance clips. In secret voice recordings. Saying things that could twist the very outcome of the case. In one audio file, a woman believed to be Bambi is heard saying, "He ain't ever going to see this coming. Let him drown. That's what he gets for playing me." The courtroom gasped. Scrappy, frozen in his seat. His lawyers, blindsided. They weren't prepped. They didn't even know Stevie was going to speak, let alone play a digital nuke in front of a judge. And now, Scrappy's name is on every document, every headline, every lip in every barbershop and blog comment. Is it a setup? Is it revenge? Or is this the biggest reality TV cover-up in years unraveling at the seams? What's being called the betrayal bomb is now out in the open. Stevie J, whether he planned it out of vengeance or sheer survival, dropped it like he had nothing to lose. And the timing? Impeccable. Because the footage not only reveals Bambi having shady conversations with people she denied even knowing, it also allegedly shows her talking about altering official statements. Statements that affect custody. Statements that decide who gets to see a child and who doesn't. And when the judge asked about the footage's origin, Stevie reportedly smirked and said, "It found me. But it's not just what's in the footage. It's how it's being interpreted." Text messages surfaced, allegedly from Bambi, saying things like, "Make him look unstable, use what you can, and if he loses it in court, we win." This isn't petty drama. This is courtroom manipulation. Character assassination. All while cameras rolled behind the scenes, some for TV, some without anyone knowing. And Twitter? Lost its mind. Memes, threads, theories. One user wrote, "Bambi playing 4D chess while Scrappy thought they were co-parenting." Another said, "Stevie just dropped that drive like Thanos." Even celebrities started chiming in. Subtle. Then, loud. An anonymous rapper, and you know his name rhymes with future, posted a cryptic IG story. "Stay woke. These women out here plotting harder than the feds." Deleted within an hour, but it gets deeper. Stevie J didn't just bring the footage. He brought years of receipts. Some insiders claim he's been waiting for the perfect moment. That this wasn't just to expose Bambi, it was to clear his own name. Revenge for being painted the villain too many times. And the footage, allegedly, was never supposed to see the light of day. Cut from earlier seasons, buried deep. But Stevie kept a copy. Just in case. Because in this game, everybody's got a role. Bambi painted herself the victim. But now the narrative is cracking. Her live stream that night, pure deflection, petty vibes, saying, Let them play. They don't even know half the story. 68,000 people watched it live. And judging by the snake emojis flooding, the comments, they weren't buying it. Stevie J, meanwhile, he posted an Instagram story with a burning envelope emoji, then a courtroom selfie, captioned, "Receipts don't lie. People do. No shame. All smoke." And now, the case is under full investigation. Legal experts, digital analysts, even former producers are being questioned. Because if this evidence is real, if those text messages and voice notes are authenticated, this isn't just about who wins a custody battle. It's about who goes to jail. And the judge? They've ordered a temporary halt. Full review underway. Experts are examining the footage frame by frame. Chain of custody is being tracked. One misstep, one sign the evidence was tampered with, and the whole thing could flip again. Right before the court adjourned, witnesses say Bambi turned to Stevie and mouthed, "You just ended your career." And he, cool as ever, whispered back, "Nah, I just started yours." Mic. Drop. Security had to step in. Scrappy was rushed out a side exit. Bambi disappeared into a private car. Stevie J walked out like it was a premiere night at the BET Awards. And outside, it was a frenzy. Paparazzi, protesters, fans chanting, signs reading "Free the tape," "Justice for Scrappy." And Stevie, waving to the cameras like he was the king of chaos. But here's the thing. The chaos isn't over, because insiders say there's more. Another drive. More footage. The courtroom was in flames. Reputations were crumbling, and Stevie J had just walked out like he dropped the mixtape of the decade. But while the cameras faded and the crowd thinned, the real chaos was only just beginning. Because behind the scenes, a second drive exists. A second drive, allegedly holding unreleased audio, more damning footage, and receipts that could burn this entire franchise to the ground. The kind of evidence you don't just stumble upon. The kind people fight to, bury, or steal. According to an anonymous source, a self-proclaimed tech consultant who's worked with reality shows and tweets like a barbershop whistleblower, the original footage was part of a scrapped storyline from an older season. Buried, cut, forgotten. Except Stevie didn't forget. He kept it. All of it. And now, one of the documents leaked alongside that footage shows direct messages between Bambi and an unnamed contact. They're talking court strategy. They're plotting. One line reads, "We need to make him look unstable. Use what you can." Another, "If he loses it in court, we win." This isn't a misunderstanding. This is warfare. Deliberate, calculated. And if those texts are real, even partially, it means the case against Scrappy wasn't just emotional. It was manufactured, designed to destroy him in front of a judge, a camera, and an audience hungry for drama. And Bambi, instead of going quiet, instead of waiting for her team to manage the storm, she went live. Again, same night. This time with full lashes, side smirk, and defiance in her tone. She said, "Let them keep playing. Y'all don't even know half the story. They want to frame me like I'm some villain? Cool, just wait." No names mentioned, but she didn't need to. Everyone knew who she was aiming at. Stevie, Scrappy, maybe even Mona Scott herself. And the internet ate it up. The comments turned into a battleground. Snake emojis, clown gifs, some fans defending her, most not. Meanwhile, Stevie J was on his own petty parade, posting a cryptic story with a courtroom badge and the words, "Receipts don't lie. People do." And in case things weren't messy enough, rumors began to swirl. That footage Stevie dropped? It might not even be the full version, because now there's talk of an original copy, raw, unedited, locked inside a hotel room. Safe in Miami. And someone, allegedly a former assistant of Stevie's, says they've seen it. And what's on it? Makes the leaked footage look like a trailer. They're calling it the nuclear tape. Allegedly, it proves everything. Not just Bambi's betrayal, not just Stevie's secrets, but that certain producers, names we've seen in the credits, for years, may have helped stage real-life drama in order to enhance fake TV narratives. We're talking lines crossed. Courtroom manipulation, scripted lies leaking into real legal proceedings. One ex-producer even called it playing God with people's lives, just for ratings. And if that's true, this case just became something else entirely. It's no longer about Bambi versus Scrappy. It's about the entire foundation of love and hip-hop being built on real pain twisted into entertainment, and it's collapsing. Now let's talk legal. A judicial review panel has been activated, reportedly investigating whether earlier testimonies in Scrappy's custody case were influenced or altered by off-camera coercion. That includes Bambi's claims about Scrappy's instability, made under oath. If the texts and footage prove she was scripting his downfall, we're not just talking scandal, we're talking perjury charges. That's jail time, and it doesn't stop there. Scrappy's legal team has now filed for a defamation lawsuit against both Stevie J and Bambi. Claims include emotional distress, reputational sabotage, and calculated public humiliation. Word is, he's seeking $2.5 million in damages. But money isn't the point. He wants to clear his name. Stevie's camp? Spinning fast. They're arguing that the footage wasn't leaked. It was released in the public interest. Like a whistleblower would, he sees himself not as the villain, but the hero, the truth teller. But the law doesn't always care about intentions. It cares about chain of custody. It cares about how evidence is obtained. If Stevie tampered with or edited that footage, he could face his own charges, evidence tampering, revenge leaking, possibly more. Meanwhile, the internet keeps doing what it does best. Meme culture in overdrive. One viral image shows Stevie J in a judge's robe, with the caption, "All rise for the Honorable Petty King." Another, Bambi behind imaginary bars made of high heels with the words, "When the storyline backfires." Even Mama D couldn't stay silent. She posted, "A real woman don't plot. She prays. A fake one. She edits video." Over 100,000 likes in an hour. Support for Scrappy? Growing fast. A GoFundMe page titled "Justice for Scrappy" raised over $45,000 in 72 hours. Mama D reposted it with the caption, "They tried to break my baby, but God's court don't need no edits." And celebrities? They're talking now. Tokyo Vanity tweeted, "That courtroom footage ain't even in HD, but the betrayal was crystal clear." Carly Red commented, "I told y'all Bambi been sneaky since season 4. Even Young Jock dropped a video saying, 'I was there that day. Energy was off. I knew something was up.' Stevie pulled up wearing sunglasses indoors. And just when you thought things couldn't get wilder, word on the street is Mona Scott, the queen behind the chaos, is allegedly planning a live courtroom reunion special. No scripts, no edits, just raw confessions and confrontations filmed in the very hallway where the footage first leaked. Sources say she's offering $50,000 bonuses to cast members willing to show up and bring tears and truth. But Bambi's camp, cracking, two of her closest allies, friends who once shared confessionals and brunch tables, have unfollowed her, removed her from group chats, liked tweets about her getting exposed. One burner account even posted, "She thought she controlled the narrative, but truth don't need a filter, boo." And now, the final nail might not come from Stevie, or Scrappy, or Mona. It might come from that whistleblower, the anonymous tipster who warned the court about the Miami drive. They've come forward. In leaked DMs now circulating on Reddit, they claim they're not doing it for clout. They're doing it for the people Scrappy helped over the years. They're tired of watching good men get destroyed for TV ratings, and they hint that there's more unreleased conversations, more voice notes, even text chains involving Mona herself. If that's true, we're not just looking at a scandal. We're looking at a franchise implosion. At this point, the audience is split. You've got Team Scrappy, who believe he's been set up from the jump. Free Bambi, who claim she's being scapegoated by two opportunistic men. And the chaotic neutrals, who don't care who's guilty as long as every secret drops online. But for Scrappy, this isn't a meme, this is his life. Sources close to him say he's emotionally spiraling, that he's considering quitting reality TV altogether. And quietly, there are talks of a memoir. Because while Stevie thinks he won by releasing the key tape and Bambi scrambles to do damage control, the law is watching. And if the original Miami drive contains proof of producer interference, collusion, or witness tampering, this case won't end with drama. It'll end in criminal charges. The tapes? They might be viral now, but they were real. And real evidence carries real consequences. So now we wait. We wait for subpoenas, for hard drives to be opened, for NDAs to leak, for friendships to fracture, and stories to change. Because in this courtroom soap opera, there are no saints, just villains with better lighting and microphones that never turn off. And just when you think it's over, another clip drops. Another. Story unravels, and the chaos returns. But the real question, who's pulling the strings, and how many more secrets are still waiting to go viral?